Well, hello and welcome back. As you can see, I'm pretty effing excited to be filming because I didn't get a video up last week. Like, what the heck, man? So we're just going to jump right into the video, and I'm going to start by priming using the Makeup Forever. This is the smoothing one, and basically just concentrate this where my largest pores are or where any of my texture is, which is typically on like the apples of my cheeks and the middle, like in between my eyebrows and my chin area. And this also helps mattify me as well. So for foundation, this is probably my favorite drugstore foundation, which is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. And I'm trying to see if this will match because I have it self-tanned in several days. And, you know, typically, even if it doesn't match exactly, once you get your concealer on and everything, it works. And yeah, I finally broke down and bought a beauty blender. I haven't had one in like 6 months. One of my dogs decided to chew it up, and I was just like being a penny pincher, and I could not get myself to buy another one, but I did, and I'm happy. And I'm definitely going to be more careful with this and make sure one of my dogs does not get a hold of it. So for concealer, I'm going to go in with the LA, what is this, the LA Girl or LA, you know what it is. I'll link it down below. The LA Pro Concealer, that's what it is. I don't know where I was going with that. And just pack it on, cake it on, up underneath my eyes. You know how I do it. It's just my thing. I like concealer, like a ton of concealer. And I don't know, I've always done it like this. I'm not big on like anything else, but like concealer is like my jam. I have to use a shit ton of concealer. Don't judge me. Now for powder, I've been doing this lately using the Airspun. And I know a lot of people don't like the smell of it, but I do because it reminds me of my grandma. And I love my grandma. But the only problem I have with this powder is it is so messy. It is just like, look at that. Like, it is just like snowing powder, but this powder is so cheap, and it's like, yeah, it got all over my mirror. Well, it got all over everything, but the powder is just so cheap. It's like $5 or $6, and you know, a little bit goes a long way with it. And I find that those who have dry skin, yeah, you're not gonna like this powder. But anybody who has oily skin like me, this is like my best friend, especially in the summer. It gets a little heavy underneath of the eyes, but I find once I do use it and set it with setting spray almost immediately after I put it underneath of my eyes, it really helps out with this. So if you're going to use it underneath of your eyes, I suggest go ahead and spray your face with some setting powder. It'll really help out the cakiness and creasiness underneath of your eyes. So for the eyes, I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This is one of my favorite palettes, and I use it all the time. So the first shade I'm going to go in with is Raw Sienna, and just take a big fluffy brush and place this all over my eyelid up to the brow bone. The second shade I'm going to go in with is Red Ochre, and basically I'm going to start by placing this with a patting motion on the outer corner of my eye. This is going to be so repetitive with this shade because you're just going to find that I basically pat it on there, blend it out, pat it on there, blend it out. It's like going to be obnoxious to watch, but I really wanted to leave a lot of the clips and the time in that it really took to do this eye. Obviously it's not the exact timing of doing this eye, but now you see I'm going in with a fluffy brush and blending it out, and then I'm going to go back in, pack some more on, and then blend it out. So the key with this eye that I find is really taking your time to blend, because this shade, even though it's easy to blend, it can get lost if it's blended out too much. But take your time, don't bring it up too high above the crease, and you'll get it. This eye is a very beautiful eye and one of my go-to eyes, believe it or not. I find when I'm doing these eye looks, I'm not really sure what I'm getting into or what I'm doing. Sometimes, yeah, I've done the eye look, but I'm adding something or wanting to do something maybe a little different than I'm used to doing. And this was one of those things. I took the shade Real, what is it called? Real Guerriero, something like that. The bottom corner orange shade. And thought, let's just add this in the crease. I didn't really like it. It didn't do kind of what I thought I was going for, I guess. So I just take my time and blend this shade out, which you'll eventually see. It just kind of disappears and goes away, and you can't really tell too much that it's there. But I mean, if it works for you, great. But for me, I just wasn't a big fan of it. And then you'll see here me going back in with that red ochre shade and just patting it on and blending it out and kind of more or less covering up that orangey shade that I just put there, because like I said, I just wasn't a fan of it. I mean, sorry, just it wasn't for me. Now I'm taking, which I think is probably one of my favorite shades of this palette, Primavera. It's just a real pretty champagne, shimmery, goldish type of shimmer shadow. And I just place it on the inner part of my eye, taking it to the middle of my eyelid. And then I wanted to kind of spice it up a little bit, even though, I mean, it's pretty the way that it is, but I just wanted to give it a little more oomph, I guess, and just spray my brush with some makeup setting spray just to brighten it up a little bit. Now after this, after I blend out the edges that you'll see me doing here with a clean brush, I go in with the other shimmer shade called Vermeer and put that over it. It's not necessary. It doesn't need it. I guess I was being a little extra. And I was like, let's put this over it. Why not? More shimmer. Let's go. You know what I mean? And then again, going back in with a clean brush with nothing on it and blending out the edges. And then, like I said, that red ochre is coming back because it blends out so easy. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't lost with the eye look. So I'm going to curl my lashes and then put on some Ardell 113s and my brows off camera, and then whoop, we're back. So I'm going to tight line my upper waterline, and this was a mess. I kept poking myself in the eye. Like, I'm trying to film to let you guys see and then like not get too low, but I didn't want to put the mirror up in front of me. But yeah, I think I poked myself in the eye like 3 times. I was a mess. So I was just like, you know what, it's good enough. Let's let it go. Let's move on. Moving on to mascara. You already know what I'm going to use. I mean, if you watch my videos, I think I've used this in like the past 3 or 4 videos. So moving on. Here I'm just, you know, when I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, there's a dance break. There's going to be a dance break. There's going to be a goofy ass face, and then we make a decision. See how that works? So I'm going to take burnt orange and start smoking my lower lash line out with just any old definer brush. And this is when, you know, when you get real cakey on your eyes and it kind of brings out the wrinkles, which is what that Airspun does. This is a perfect way to cover up those under eye wrinkles that are close to your lash line. Just slap some bright, pretty eyeshadow on, and it covers it up. Smoke it out. It's good. You cover it up, and nobody will ever know that you have those wrinkles there. So for bronzer, I'm going to use a Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer in medium, and basically just sculpt it out. I'm contouring above like my normal contour line because when I blend it out, it won't fall so low. You know how sometimes you really have to clean up your contour line because it falls lower than your natural contour. So I like to contour kind of above that. But for some reason today, the contour on me looked like muddy. I don't know why. I don't know if it was lighting, the camera, if there was like leftover powder from a different bronzer that I was using on that brush. I don't know. But to me, it was coming off a little muddy, which that chocolate Too Faced Soleil bronzer never does that to me, which is why it's one of my favorites. but maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just seeing things. I don't know. But in person, it really didn't look like that. So I'm just assuming it had to do with the lights and everything and the camera. This is me trying to open this Lancôme this Lancôme blush. I forget the name off the top of my head. I will put it below. I'll put all the products I use down below. But this is a really pretty blush, and I thought it really complemented the eye look. And sometimes I'll put blush like on my nose and on my contour, my forehead, because I feel like it just kind of brings everything together and makes everything, didn't I just say that, like come together? Yeah. Okay, moving on. So I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Nicole Guerriero glow kit, and this has been my go-to highlight lately. I kind of fell off the bandwagon there and wasn't using it as much lately, but I'm back on that bandwagon. Look at that. I mean, the highlight and the blinding, I mean, you can't miss it. You're gonna be seen when you walk in the door, and you know all the normal places I highlight. I don't really think I need to go over that again because, I mean, you're watching it, right? I mean, I don't have to sit here and tell you what I'm highlighting. You're seeing it. Moving on. Sometimes I do like to take my beauty blender and just pounce it on the highlight just to kind of blend it in more. And that's what I was doing there. So I'm going to take my really short Milani lip pencil in Nude and line my lips. Once I do that, I just kind of smear it out just to make it so it's not so harsh on my lips. And then go in with this Tarteist matte lipstick. Like I said, I don't have it in front of me, so I don't know the name, but I will put it down below. I feel like I've used this before, and you know me and nude lips are like a daily, every makeup look thing. And then I'm just going to top it off with the Gerard Cosmetics. I think this is a Shimmer of Hope lip gloss, and then spray again with my Ofra Mixer setting spray. This is the end of the look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Short, sweet, to the point. My favorite kind of videos to make. And I will see you guys on my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye, guys.